Muslims, I'm sure you don't like me disagreeing with parts of the Quran any more than I like you disagreeing with parts of the Bible, but we are at an impasse. One of us is going to have to give way if we are ever going to come together as one. Trashing Christianity so you can build yourself up has divided God and is definitely not the way to have peace on earth. This is war, and the battle rages. It's time to stop being a coward and come out of your spiritual foxhole and fight, because cowards are not allowed in my kingdom. I need overcomers, not cowards. Jesus fulfilling the law does not mean that the Old Testament no longer applies. Jesus' fulfilling it means that he confirmed and established the law as the law of the land for all people. He did not do away with the Old Testament just because he gave us the New Testament. The law still applies, because if it didn't, then him dying for us so that we do not have to, as required by the law, would have been unnecessary. If you think you'll be saved as long as your good outweighs your bad, you're sadly mistaken. As far as God is concerned, you're filth if you haven't been washed clean by the redemptive blood of Christ. You are saved by grace through faith in Jesus, not by how much good you've done. Every story in the Bible is like a lock, and if you have the right spiritual key, you can unlock it and open it and find out what it's really trying to tell you. The church was made to assist the spiritual man and be on his side. She was not created or built to help the world, but to help man reach his full potential and live as God's children. God intended her to bond with physical man, to wake up the spiritual man within. His intention for the two was not to be only one flesh in the physical realm, but to finally be one spirit, so we can be united with the Lord forever and never be separated from his love. The church, in a spiritual sense, is the wife of mankind, just as we are the bride of Christ. And God requires that it be spotless. The reason Adam said, "This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh," is because of what it takes out of you to build a church that's worth leaving everything else behind, even your own physical father and mother if necessary. A church that you are not ashamed of, and one that you are willing to strip off everything that the world has to offer to be part of, is the only kind that you should be willing to join. Because it is the only kind that is good enough to be a bride to Christ. And to be quite honest with you, I haven't been able to find one that is like that either to help me. I'm relying on God to bring one into being for me, and my hope is that you're willing to be part of it when He does. Salvation is a gift. It is impossible to earn by doing good deeds. I have come to take all my saints, those who have true faith and please God, to be with me in paradise. They will no longer be found living in the land of the ungodly. As long as you keep having faith in the testimony of Jesus Christ, you will be spared from spiritually dying with the ungodly sinners when I execute judgment upon all, because you will be with me to live a life walking with God forever as a reward. Are you going to speak harsh words against me? Or are you going to hold to the testimony that I am He? Keep in mind that only one of these two choices will please God. I have come to divide the earth's families to build God's family. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth means to fill it with the sons of God who are perfect and just in His sight. It doesn't mean to corrupt it by filling it with evil children He wishes He never had, who are well known because of the great amount of wickedness and violence they commit. Do not grieve God's heart by bearing Him the wrong kind of children any longer. Imagine how nice this world would be if He did. God, I will never betray you, and I will never betray your children as long as I live. The Tower of Babel was built on the confused concept that we can all come to God and enter His gates if we would say we are only the children of men. The tower in New Jerusalem, the ladder that leads to heaven, is built on the divine concept that only the children of God may enter heaven. To circumcise the flesh is to also look past our racial differences and see that it is God who is the Father of us all. Children of Ishmael, return to the Church of Christ and submit yourself under her hands. Arabs, you were circumcised so you could eventually share in God's covenant with Abraham. But you must quit fighting with your brother and come with them and join us and join God's family. He blessed you and caused you to be fruitful and multiply so that we together could become the greatest and most powerful nation on this earth. And that nation is the kingdom of God. Arabs, you are going to have to learn to accept that it is through Abraham's son Isaac and not Ishmael that God's promise has come.